Hey guys, here for Love and Hip Hop New York, of course, season 6, episode 11. Okay, I told you guys that maybe once in a while my background may change, so I'm doing these reviews kind of late, but I wanted to get them out the way. So, yeah, I'm in my bathroom. I pray you can hear me because I'm right under the vent, so I'm going to talk as loud as I possibly can. Um, Let me just say this because somebody tried to try me in my comments the other day. I'm gonna put this out there. Anytime I do a review, it's a lot that goes into it, okay? Notes, remembering everything that I just watched or whatever when I got other things going on. Hello, I am a mom of two, okay? I have a fiance and I work. So if I do a review and I'm kind of out of it, I usually explain to you I'm tired, I'm sick, I'm this, I'm that. So don't come at me talking about I don't know how to do a review when I've been doing reviews for a while now. Just because you watch one review and I'm off does not mean I don't know what I'm doing. So luckily, the person that was trying to come at me and insult me is blocked, and they was somebody who ain't have no type of picture on their channel, but they want to come at me and talk about I don't know what I'm doing. Please, you do a review, upload it, and let me see how you look on camera. Okay? Anyway, don't come for me. All right? Moving on. So yes, Love and Hip Hop, episode 11. I wrote it down in notes. So it continues with the Gwinin Fest. We find out that, of course, Bianca won the Gwinin Fest, and I was happy she won. I mean, despite the fact that she lip synced, I didn't really care about that. But BBOD really thought that they were going to win for the simple fact that they reunited. I don't really think anybody cared that they broke up, but I'm just saying. So, Mo was like, well, she won, and I don't understand why. For God's sakes, the girl was lip syncing. So I guess them judges were wilding out. They didn't know what they was talking about. Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay. Um. So Bianca is happy that she won, and she's like, I put my attitude aside and I worked hard and I won the Gwinin Fest. So this just means that with support and my hard work, I can, I can do good things, and I'm gonna continue to do it, and I'm not gonna let the haters get to me. And I'm like, good. I'm glad that's a lesson that you learned because you have had, one, two, many chances with Yandy. But I mean, it's good that you put in the ish to the side and you working hard. So kudos to you, Bianca. So now we get to Peter and Tara, two dingbats we ain't really talk about too much in the last few episodes or whatever. So Peter is at the doctor and it's looking like he set up an appointment because he's like, he wants to get a vasectomy because hearing his daughter say that, you're hurting all the people around you and maybe you need to take care of this situation is, it bothered him. And I'm like, having all these kids and hurting their mamas ain't set you right. You just don't get it. So he's actually at an appointment with Tara to see what kind of what the baby is, what the sex of the baby is. So they find out they're having a boy. So Tara is like, I'm not proud of my situation, but I do feel like, there is a baby still coming into this world, and I would never deny Peter of being away from his kids, but we have to both own our parts in how this happened. So Tara's like, I'm not trying to turn anything, turn into a negative situation, but I just want to know how we're gonna go on moving forward with having this baby. So Tara's like, what, I just have to set boundaries and rules with you. I'll always love you, but I can't keep playing this game with you. So I'm like, Tara, you should have set them boundaries a long time ago. Y'all probably wouldn't have ended up here in the first place. So, naturally they vow to, I guess, do better and move on or whatever. So, I'm looking at my phone, by the way. Cardi, Bianca, and Mariah Lynn are discussing the Gwinin Fest, the shenanigans and everything, and they tell Cardi B about how, Mariah Lynn approached Mo about the whole order protection thing against B. And Cardi B is like, see, I knew them girls wasn't about that life. They want to sit up here and they want to talk like they tough when they know they not tough. And you want to go get an order protection? Like, that's some whack stuff. Like, y'all some whack chicks or whatever. So it went from that to like Cardi B talking about how she feels about the whole music business and how she's going through stripper withdrawal, her crazy stuff. But she's basically saying like, now I'm starting to see the real Cardi B, because she's basically saying that she wants to move forward in her career, but she's having stripper withdrawal. Like, she likes seeing the money and whatnot, but she wants to be an artist and she wants to be taken serious. And she said she has the marriage papers or whatever for her boyfriend Tommy, who's locked up, and she's hesitant to sign them because he doesn't support her dream. So she's not sure what to do. If she should just leave it alone or she should continue. And she's like, she's just tired of, wanting him. She's just tired of wanting him to support her when she supports everything that he does. And it's like, anytime she tells him something about something that she has going on, he's like, no, I don't think you should be doing that. You should be home. You should be wifey. You should have my kids. And she's like, I don't want to just do that. I don't want to just settle. I want to do what makes me happy. So I'm just, thinking about that. So then it went to Mariah Lynn, and she was asking about how Mariah Lynn's mom is doing. And Mariah Lynn is like, my mom has this brand new baby that's coming in a matter of weeks, and I'm trying to decide, my career is going good, but I'm trying to decide if I'm going to have the responsibility of taking care of that baby, like, regardless, my mom, she's going through her own demons, so I'm trying to decide if I'm feeling the pressure of raising a newborn baby. And I'm like, yeah, I get it, Mariah Lynn. It's a lot. It's a lot that you got to deal with, but you got to put on your big girl panties and you just got to deal with it. So then, Remy and Ra, they meet up. Where were they? She was looking for wedding bands for Papoose or whatever, and, she's saying that, since Papoose is doing all of this for me, I want to get him a nice band or whatever for our wedding. So Ra meets up with her. Remy brings up the whole Gwinin Fest fight that she had with the girl, and Remy tells her, well, Yandy said she didn't know that y'all had beef. She didn't even understand what was going on. She didn't even know, like, all of what was going on. And she's like, I told this girl months ago that anytime I see her, it will be on site. And each time that I've seen the girl, Yandy was with her. So even if Yandy didn't know the whole story, Yandy had an inkling, like she was aware that there was beef between me and her. So, Rob basically is like, I feel like Yandy is just portraying this innocent role when it's not that. Like, Yandy is messy to me. And I'm sitting here like, Rob, regardless if you think Yandy is messy or not, Yandy is not the one that got up and threw that bottle. You did. You got up, you're at an event where you're supposed to be working, where you're supposed to be networking, and you got all these potential people in there that you could connect with some more, and you chose to show your ass. You chose to be stupid and bring some street-ish into a work event. Now you look stupid. You ain't setting no good example. And even Mo said that later on. When I get to her, Mo said it. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, at least she admitted she was wrong. But it's like, don't sit up here and try and make it seem like Yandy set you up. Because Yandy ain't thinking about you like that. She is not checking for you like that. And like, you sitting up here acting paranoid, like she did this to you. Yandy ain't do nothing to you. I'm like, Ryan, you look stupid. Stop sitting up here trying to put the blame on Yandy. Put the blame on yourself. Admit your wrongs and move on. So it was the day that finally came that Yandy and Mendeecees been waiting for, and that's when they found out that Mendeecees is sentenced to 8 years. Now, I remember when this story broke, and it was really sad. It was actually recent. Like, I think that happened like in November somewhere. So, of course, Yandy is worried. Mendeecees, he's trying to keep a strong spirit, because he knows that this is hurting Yandy, and that there's going to be a lot of changes that come to his family. So, he's basically telling Yandy, every day that I'm not with you, I'm going to want to be with you. It's going to be a lot, but we're going to make it and we're going to deal with it. I feel a sense of relief because it's no longer hanging over my head when I'm going to be sentenced. So, he's like, every day that I'm not with you, we're together in spirit, and I need for you to be strong for the kids. You have to stay strong for the kids, because it's going to be a lot different with me being on the inside. He's like, I want to keep the kids together and keep my family together, and I want to keep that going in my absence. So, Yandy is like, well, I have no problem sitting down with, the other mothers of your children But it's like every time I invite them out somewhere, it's always excuse after excuse. I invite them to birthday parties, I invite them to functions, and they always have an excuse as to why they can't come. So Mendeecees come up with the idea to do a family dinner, which I think is a good idea. That way they could all sit down and they could come together, they could rationalize and make a plan for what they can do for the next 8 years and keep it going so that, the family dynamic won't be ruined because Mendeecees is in jail. I get that completely. Mendeecees just wants to keep his family unit together, the bond and everything, which is completely understandable. You don't see many men who have, blended families even wanting to do this because they don't want to deal with the drama. So, Mo and Lexi are at their video shoot for some song. I think it's called Time of My Life or something. I wasn't even paying attention. I didn't care. So, they were talking about B and Mariah Lynn and how they feel like B didn't deserve to win the Gwinin Fest and all this other craziness. And Mo was like, I don't know what these judges were thinking. For God's sake, she was lip syncing. How can they talk about talent? And I'm like, Mo, you and Lexi really think that people care that y'all broke up and got back together? I don't think nobody cared. Remy Ma was a judge there and she didn't even care. So I'm like, get over it. She won because she raps better than y'all. Just get over it. So then they're talking about like figuring out management. And oh no, before that, they were talking about the whole thing with Mariah Lynn pulling the restraining order or whatever out of her bra to try and prove something. And Mo was going to say, I never filed a restraining order against B. That's BS. I'm like, so where'd she get that paper from? If she took the time to Google you and she came across that paper, where that order of protection come from? And it was dated 6 years ago when the incident happened, supposedly. Okay, don't play nobody for stupid. So anyway, they moved on and they were talking about what they're going to do as far as management because Yandy is managing Mo and Rod is managing Lexi. So Mo feels like they need to settle on a manager and she doesn't really think that it should be Rod because of how Rod was acting at the Gwinin Fest. So, Mo had a point. Mo was like, how you going to sit up here and tell me not to turn up at events and you're turning up? And I'm like, right. She wasn't even setting an example. I mean, regardless as to how you feel about a person or whatever beef you gotta leave that outside. You can't bring that into work events because that's gonna make people not want to work with you. Now, every time they hear the name Riley, they're gonna be like, oh, that's the chick that was throwing bottles in the club during the Gwinin Fest. I ain't messing with her. Or that's the chick that did this. Like, it's so many rumors that, well, not even rumors, it's so much hearsay that can ruin your reputation when it comes to you wanting to be a manager or you to further your career or whatever, So Rod needed to tread lightly, but she brought that on herself. So they're just trying to figure out who's going to manage them. It looked like they're leaning towards Yandy. I don't know. So, Remy and Yandy meet up and they're discussing the whole thing with Mendeecees. She's like, everybody heard by now that Mendeecees is sentenced to 20 years, so I'm just trying to, keep myself busy. And Remy, having gone through that same situation herself, is she wants to be there for Yandy. And Yandy is like putting on a brave face and she's like, well, Mendeecees is taking it like a G. I'm the one that's breaking down or whatever, Remy is like, well, the dynamic is going to change, but y'all going to make it work and y'all going to work it out. So I know how you feel. I've gone through it, still going through it, but I know how you feel. So, Yandy is saying that she wanted to throw Remy a bachelorette party. And, Remy is like, well, I don't really know much about bachelorette parties, but I'm going to let Yandy do it so it'll take her mind off of things and, maybe make her feel better. So they were discussing Ra and the situation that happened with her throwing the bottle, and Remy let her know, well, Ra thinks that you brought the girl there to stir up some drama because you know that her and the girl had an issue. And Yandy is like, I don't come and bring an issue to places of like where I'm trying to work or whatever. She said if she was Yandy said if Rod knew that this was gonna happen, Rod should have pulled you to the side or pulled me to the side and said, hey, I know we got an event going on, but this girl right here, I don't like her and I'm about to wash her. or whatever. And that's what Rod should have did. Instead of standing there and waiting and then picking up a bottle and throwing it at that girl. That girl wasn't doing nothing but sitting there smoking a hookah. She's smoking a hookah, and next thing you know, a bottle flying at her head. You didn't even give her a warning. You didn't give her nothing. So yeah. So, you know, Remy is like, well, I'm just going to talk to her. We're going to figure this out because I don't want no drama at my wedding. And if we having a bachelorette party, I don't want you to not invite her because of everything that's going on. And she's like, well, if she's your friend, I'm not going to disinvite her. You know, that's who you want there. This is your party. That's what I like about Yandy. Yandy's woman enough about it. You know, if it's a big elephant in the room, she's still going to just deal with it with class. So, Tyra and Yandy meet up. Yandy sees her, and Yandy's like, I know we ain't speak in a while, but you want to explain what's going on to me? Is that a basketball under you? You know? So Tyra's like, no, I'm pregnant, and I'm pregnant by Peter. And Yandy is like, wait a minute, how did this happen? So she's like, you know, I still love him, and basically I went there. You know, now I'm 8.5 months pregnant. So, you know, Yandy had to give it to her real raw and uncut. She's like, but the fact remains, you're pregnant by a married man. You know, like, when does it stop? And she's like, are you okay with having this baby knowing that he's a married man? So, you know, Tyra's like, yeah, I'm okay with it. And me, I did the math in my head. Because I think Tyra just had that baby sometime. Well, it's March now. I think she had that baby in February. So she had that baby in February. Remember last year at Yandy's wedding, we saw them together? No Amina? Let that sink in. June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February. So, yeah, so I'm like, you know, I'm just like, you know what, Tara, you had the opportunity. I mean, I understand that's 13 years of history, but if it's been 13 years of nothing but lies and deceit from Peter, why even continue? But I'm like, you know what, whatever. Hopefully this is a lesson for her. Now you got 3 boys, you know, you got to deal with, and one, you know. And she's like, well, I'm okay, you know, I'm okay with not being with him. I'm okay with the situation. I just had to, you know, I have to grow, and I just have to get over it. It's nothing I can do. I have a baby on the way. And I'm like, okay, Tyra, you always say this, but then you go and you do something else stupid with Peter for the kids. So, Cardi and her sister and her friend, you know, they're just talking like randomly, and then Self comes. So her sister and her friend, they go off or whatever with their business. So Cardi confronts Self, and she feels like DJ Self has no loyalty to her. Now she's upset because he plays BBOD records on the radio, and he doesn't even acknowledge her records or whatever. And Self is like, well, you're not a seasoned artist. BBOD is professional with me, so that's why I play their music. You're not a seasoned artist. You don't have any hits or whatever right now, so I can't just I can't just spin your records. But I mean, I get where Self is coming from professionally, and I get where Cardi is coming from professionally too, and personally, because she feels like because they're so cool or whatever, he should want to help his friend out. He feels like he doesn't want to embarrass her and put her. But I'm like, Cardi got bars. Cardi can rap. And we've seen it on the show, and I've seen it on Facebook in this video she was in. Cardi can rap. So him not putting her on the radio is bogus to me. So, you know, Cardi is like, you know what, I'm done. She's like, when I F with you, I F with you heavy. But I feel like, she's like, I feel like that, I would want that to be in return back to me, but I'm not getting that from you. So I'm not asking you for nothing else. And then she leaves. She's like, you put the delicious bitches on there, but you can't even put me on there. And then as she was leaving, she was going to say, delicious. I'm like, she is such. So we get to the bachelorette party with Yandy and Remy. Remy came in there looking like a dominatrix, looking all sexy. You go, girl. So she came in there. A sidebar. Did y'all peep that VH1 ain't bleep out that dildo? I caught that. I was like, ooh. So y'all not gonna bleep that out? Y'all just gonna show rubber penises on TV? Okay. So they're at the bachelorette party, and You know, Rob was hesitant to come, but she's like, Remy's my friend, so I'm going off the strength of her. So her and Yandy go up to the side and they talk. Rob is basically questioning Yandy's friendship with Remy. And you know, Yandy is like, it's not a fake friendship with me. Me and her met up a few times. We went out to eat and we just clicked. Some things happen naturally. So here comes Rod talking about, no, you don't know her like that. To call her your friend, and I've known her for years. And blah blah blah. According to Papoose, when she was locked up, where were you? You were ghost. Uh-huh. So Papoose don't even see you as a real friend. Papoose don't even like you. To be honest, I could tell. Papoose does not like Rashida. So, um, oh, and I missed that part. I'm gonna get back to that. The scene with Remy and Pap. I'm gonna get back to that. But yeah, so I'm like, why is Rashida sitting up here questioning friendships? Like, Remy, why can't Remy trust Yandy when Remy and Yandy are in the same boat? You know, Remy went to jail, Mendeecees is going to jail, so Remy is trying to be there for Yandy in the aspect of, I know, I was in the same situation that you're about to be in, so I want to be here for you. So early on, Remy was telling Pap, well, Remy had told Pap about the whole Gwinin Fest thing, and Pap was like, every time you are around Rob, it's always something happening. It's always a situation. You just need to watch who you call a friend, because you was in this similar situation 6 years ago, and that's what made you end up in jail. You gotta watch who you call a friend. You don't want a friend that just comes and devalues what you're doing. And I'm like, see, Pat got a point. And honestly, this whole friendship between Remy and Remy and Rashida, it's a little bit side eye-ish to me, because I don't really feel like Rashida is really her friend. I don't. I just feel like they cool for the moment. I don't feel like, I feel like Rashida is one of them seasonal friends for her. I believe Tahiri and Rashida's friendship more than I do Remy and Rashida's friendship, but that's just me. So, they basically agree to disagree, because Yandy is like, you know, once I have a friend, I have a friend. I mean, it doesn't matter how long I could know a person. If we cool, we cool. And Rashida's like, well, we can just agree to disagree. She's like, I just don't want it to be no weird energy between us during this time, because it's about Remy. She's like, we can shake on that. They were cordial. They went over and had fun. Now the last scene is Yandy, Mendeecees' mom, Mendeecees' other baby mother Erica, um, his other baby mother Samantha, and her mom Kim. Mendeecees got some pretty, I don't want to say baby mothers, I already said it twice, right? Mendeecees got some pretty mothers of his children. I've seen his mom, but she is gorgeous. And we saw Samantha last season. She's pretty too. And Yandy is gorgeous too. So I'm like, dang, they are pretty. They are a gorgeous family. So they're sitting there and they're talking about how they could make the family dynamic work and keep it going with Mendeecees being in jail and all. So, here come Mama Judy. So, well, we could try and figure it out, because remember you had that situation where you went to jail? That came out of left field. And what I noticed with Judy is that every single time it's supposed to be something about somebody else, she always wants to be the center of attention, because she did the same thing last season on Love and Hip Hop New York when Mendeecees tried to get them together. And she did the same thing during, what was it? The wedding. Tried to make it about her. And it's like, Miss Judy, it's not about you. This is about Mendeecees and Yandy and these kids. That's what it's about. So, Samantha got mad, Kim got mad. Kim was on fire. She's like, a bitch don't have a suit on tonight. You always saying something stupid. And da da da. And then she gonna try and get up and make her dramatic exit, Miss Judy. And I'm like, you can't do that. You started this. You made your bed, just lay in it. So, Mendeecees is trying to keep the peace, and he's like, I just want the kids to always be together while I'm gone, and then he's asking, well, do you think that you would bring him up there to see me or whatever? And Erica's a little bit hesitant, but she's like, I wouldn't keep him from you. And Samantha's the same way. I wouldn't keep them from you or whatever. I don't really agree with taking a kid to jail or whatever. I wouldn't want them to see you like that, but I also wouldn't want to keep them from you. So they all made an agreement that, you know, the kids will still see him while he's away, so that they'll still know, hey, that's dad or whatever. And it pretty much ended there. Episode was pretty good. Next episode like, is gonna be great because we finally see. I mean, we've seen pictures, but we finally get to see Remy and Pap's wedding. What else happens? Lord, I can't remember. But like, it's gonna be a good episode. So I mean, we'll just see. Oh, Amina and Peter when he finally tells her that Tara's having a baby and he wants to get a vasectomy. So Amina's pissed off about the whole vasectomy. So like, it's gonna be a ratchet mess next week, minus the wedding. But I can't wait to see it. So you guys let me know how you felt about this episode. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.